Hello and a very warm welcome to today's session brought to you by Team Textbook Super Coaching. I hope all of you are doing really well this Monday evening, beg your pardon. Without further ado, let's just very quickly get started. आज के इस particular session में हम लोग second part of postcolonial literature. Last entire week we were looking at postcolonial writings. हम उसी को ही cover करेंगे. Of course आगे आने वाले time में we will be looking at postcolonial literature in greater detail as well. ये चीज हम लोग अच्छी तरह से we will be covering also, and this entire week besides today's class our key focus is going to be on making sure that आपके fundamentals for your upcoming set exams are clear. So we'll be practicing a lot of questions in the coming days. Along with that, I would also like to mention कि आगे आने वाले दिनों में there will be 15 important master classes before the end of this entire month, and these master classes are going to be on the application platform wherein we're going to be practicing over 500 questions. तो मैं आपको उनके रेगुलरली लिंक जो है वो टेलीग्राम प्लेटफॉर्म पे देती रहूंगी. प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट ऑल ऑफ यू अटेंड ऑल द रिमेनिंग 15 क्लासेस, मास्टर क्लासेस. इसका जो पूरा का पूरा स्केड्यूल है आई विल शेयर इट विद एवरीबडी एंड आई विल मेक श्योर दैट ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेल अवेयर अबाउट इट. फाइन. गुड इवनिंग माया, सतेंद्र, डोमिनेटर, श्वेता, पद्मा, फातिमा, शबनम, प्रगति, रश्मि, सोनाली. तो आगे आने वाले दिनों में जितने भी लोग अपने सेट एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, यू आर एक्चुअली गोइंग टू बी राइटिंग योर सेट एग्जाम, जस्ट मेक इट अ पॉइंट दैट यू आर अटेंडिंग ऑल दीज 15 मास्टर क्लासेस before the end of this month. So I'll share the entire timetable, I'll share the entire schedule on the Telegram platform. Please stay tuned. Neerja ma'am textbook के ऊपर, English literature hustlers के ऊपर I'll be sharing their entire details. Fine. So please keep that in mind. Yes, Shabnam, these are basically 15 master classes that we are planning to make sure that all of you are well prepared. These are question boosters for this entire month. ठीक है. तो मैं इसका पूरा का पूरा जो schedule है I will share it with all of you along with certain other details as well. तो ये जो सारी की सारी चीजें हैं I will keep you all posted. So just make it a point that all of you are definitely certainly keeping in mind about these 15 important master classes that are there. मैं इसका जो schedule है आप लोगों को I will share it with you today itself, by today after the class gets over, or maximum by tomorrow I will share this particular schedule with all of you so that all of you are well aware. ये practice booster है, it will really help you practice. We will be segmenting all the questions and practicing it unit wise ताकि आपका units भी अच्छी तरीके से revise हो जाए. So just make it a point that all of you definitely attending, and certain miscellaneous questions are also going to be there. तो आपके questions को boost करेंगे on a regular basis with these 15 master classes wherein we are targeting to cover over 500 questions. ठीक है. So 15 आपकी master classes होंगी. This will be till the end of your 31st of January. So by the end of 31st of January we'll all be having these 15 important master classes. Fine. चलिए देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से start करते हैं. आज हमारे सेशन के माध्यम से we will be covering a couple of important works that are written by our postcolonial writers. postcolonial literature के अंतर्गत जो आपके important works आते हैं उनको हम आज वीडियो के माध्यम से कवर करेंगे. तो देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से let's just quickly dive into a quick understanding of these works all together that are coming your way. The first question has come. What is the major theme of a change of climate, and why is it compared to J.M. Coetzee's Disgrace? ठीक है. So Coetzee is the writer who's writing Life and Times of Michael K. He's writing Disgrace. He is of course a very important writer, a South African writer who's of course settled in Australia altogether. और ये जो work है A Change of Climate, ये किसने लिखा है? So who's the writer of A Change of Climate? इसी तरह के और works को भी हम cover करेंगे. We'll also be practicing. और इस entire week आपके YouTube का ये जो 10:30 PM की sessions हैं उनमें हम लोग क्या चीजें cover करेंगे उसके अंतर्गत हम लोग आपकी कर्नाटक का सेट एग्जाम की तैयारी करने वाले हैं. We will be practicing KSET questions in these classes. Okay, so I'll be practicing KSET questions with all of you. So A Change of Climate, it's a work. Good evening, Monica. Good evening. Good evening. ये किसने लिखा है? First of all, this is written by Hilary Mantel. So Change of Climate किसने लिखा है? This particular work has been written by which writer? A Change in Climate is a work that is coming from the pen of Hilary Mantel. So who is writing it? Hilary Mantel. Why is Hilary Mantel so important? Hilary Mantel is the person receiving the Booker Prize twice. Remember, for Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies. और ये Tudor dynasty से deal करती है. It is dealing with the Tudor dynasty altogether. It is also talking about, remember, Puritan leaders जो Oliver Cromwell थे उनके ancestor, how Thomas Cromwell is actually getting Henry the Eighth out of the wedlock, and so that he can remarry Anne Boleyn. तो वो सारे का सारा जो work है, that is something which comes across. So you will all have to remember, ठीक है, you will all have to keep in mind. Yes, Shabnam, you can send. Shabnam, आपने I think मुझे mail भेजा है क्या HP set के लिए? तो आप मुझे बता देना आप कौन कौन से एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हैं. जैसे अभी आपके ये जो 15 सेशंस हैं, that we'll be covering these 15 master classes till 31st of this particular month. जो आपका score question booster sessions हैं, they are predominantly targeting your Karnataka set, even your notification as we speak of your Maharashtra set exam is there. ये आपका it will also assist you for your upcoming GATE examination, particularly हम लोग GATE students के लिए कर रहे हैं. So that is something that we will be looking at. So if in case you want to prepare for any specific exam, Northeast set also, I remember a couple of you said. So we've made it a concoction of that, these 15 classes, but you can definitely let us know and we can help you out. Fine. Okay. Okay. So please mail me up, so that you can get it. Okay. So what is the major theme of a change of climate? A change of climate and disgrace. ये हमें बताना चाह रहे हैं. Trauma literature का बहुत important part है, and post-colonial literature is actually compared with trauma literature as well. Trauma literature आपको क्या बताता है? That trauma will always be, it'll have a sedimentation in your mind. आपके mind में वो रह जाता है even after the incident has taken place, right? And that is what both these works, right? So a change of climate is also telling you change of climate क्या है? It is telling you about Ralph and Anna Eldred, and how they see their twins getting killed, that gory incident. They of course start settling in London, and they change their life. लेकिन ये जो trauma होता है of seeing their twins being killed, it just remains in their mind forever. So Disgrace as well as the same work, a change of climate, ये आपको क्या क्या story बता रहा है. This is actually trying to tell you. So a change of climate by Hilary Mantel, it is actually again, so ये pointers आप please याद में रखिएगा that in 1994 this particular work is coming, and what is this trying to tell you? It is trying to tell you the painful realities of life in colonial society, जहां पर Ralph and Anna जो कि couple है आपके, they are just getting imprisoned. Ralph and Anna, why are they getting imprisoned? Ralph and Anna are getting imprisoned for not maintaining the segmentation, not maintaining the segregation, not maintaining the white and black hierarchy that was supposed to be maintained, जो कि whites तो वैसे भी oblivious होते थे, उनको तो फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता था कुछ भी. So what you are able to see is that how they are actually imprisoned all together, they become victims, how their twins are attacked. There is a horrifying incident of their twins getting attacked all together. So उनके यहाँ पर जो दिमाग में एक trauma रह जाता है. Just like David Lurie and his daughter. So David Lurie of course is coming in, he's studying Byron, वो सारे questions भी आए हुए हैं, but how his daughter is getting completely she's raped but she decides to give birth to the child and live with that, है ना. So the incident of trauma is being spoken about. तो ये चीज आप please याद रखिएगा that Ralph and Anna are there. It is of course set in Botswana. That is what you're able to see, right? Botswana was formerly called as Boicheland, and Hilary Mantel is exploring the question of how far characters can return to normality. Is there a normal after a trauma, after you have experienced trauma? तो ये trauma literature का भी एक बहुत important part हो जाता है, right? A lot of post-colonial literature also tries to tell you about the atrocities that are committed, and therefore trauma literature भी आपका important area of thought process हो जाता है. And even in your research, some trending topics in research, trauma literature has actually become a very important literature and coping skills, trauma literature. These are very important aspects that are coming up in a very big way when we are talking about your overall understanding of the important trends of your PhD entrances. So ये भी please चीज अच्छी तरह से याद रखिएगा. Okay, now what happens at the end of Disgrace? ठीक है, हम लोगों ने Disgrace को a change of time के साथ compare कर दिया. हम लोगों ने कह दिया that it is similar because it's trying to tell you कि trauma के बाद normalcy आना is not possible, इतना easily possible नहीं है. It's easier said than done altogether. Ralph and Anna का भी they go to London, but there is Anna completely abandons her Christian faith. Her husband Ralph, he takes up these menial jobs altogether and does a lot of charity, but फिर भी एक that trauma is still alive. They have kids, but the trauma is still there. So what happens at the end of Disgrace? What is happening at the end of Disgrace? What is it that you are able to see is happening at the end of Disgrace? Disgrace के end में क्या हो रहा है? What do you think is happening at the end of Disgrace? What do you think is happening at the end of Disgrace? Disgrace के end में क्या हो रहा है? What happens at the end of Disgrace? So remember that this is very important और ये आपको पता होना चाहिए because disgrace is very important. So what is David Lurie doing? David Lurie is helping with the euthanasia of unwanted dogs altogether. That is very important. So end of disgrace by J.M. Coetzee. So हम लोग क्या देख पाते हैं? J.M. Coetzee, and J.M. Coetzee is a very important post-colonial writer overall. At the end, David Lurie, who's a former university professor, he's assisting with the euthanasia of unwanted dogs, right? So again, what are you trying to see? You're trying to see that people are trying to get back to normalcy, but that is not possible. Or trauma changes your life completely. It's a 360-degree change altogether that your life is actually experiencing. तो ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है. Now, very important writer, whenever we are talking about post-colonial studies, modern Gothic का example भी बोला जाता है. What are some of the most important writings that you are able to see that Toni Morrison has written? So from Sula to this, to Beloved, what are the most important works that you're able to see that are coming from the pen of Toni Morrison? So I want all of you to quickly answer that. Just classroom class में we had looked at Chaman Nahal. I hope you remember. We had looked at Chaman Nahal's memoir. We looked at Azadi. We looked at Gandhi Quartet. We looked at how Vikram as a young kid is starting the Dandi March as well in one of the works, right? I hope classroom students you're able to remember. Toni Morrison ka. What are the most important? Very good, Aprajita. Excellent. Very good try. Very good try. Okay, excellent. Shweta Padma, very good. Tithi, very good. Sonali, very good. Monica, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So when you're looking at Toni Morrison, is writing some of these very important works. Of course, Beloved. Let's take it one by one, right? Let's just take it one by one so that all of us get it right. So of course, आपका जो Beloved है, that's of course a very important work. Why is Beloved so important? You are able to see that when you are looking at, of course, the bluest eye, unnatural beauty standards that are actually maintained altogether. लेकिन Beloved में आपको क्या पता चलता है? See the heroine of the harrowing story, right? Is coming across. It's also been made into a movie altogether. That is what you're able to see. See its husband who disappears and is never found. Hell, and how it is trying to literally tell you the story of overall seed and the soul that you are able to see. The impact of racism is categorically seen. So Beloved is of course a very important work. The bluest eye, as most of you are saying, that's absolutely correct, right? The bluest eye is of course very important. Piccola, कौन है इसका protagonist? Bluest eye का protagonist कौन है? Piccola is the protagonist. She idealizes white movie stars altogether with the blue eyes that you're able to see, right? So that is of course there. And please remember that how the entire story, when you're looking at the entire story, it's trying to literally talk about the irrational beauty standards. That's one of the biggest themes that is coming in. Where works like Sula also came, right? Works like Sula, little boy who drowns. Chicken is the little boy who drowns. So Sula's also work. The Song of Solomon, ये भी एक important work है, right? The Song of Solomon. The Song of Solomon, The Song of Solomon. आज एक बार टोनी मॉरिसन के बाकी के वर्क्स को भी एक बार अच्छी तरह से देख लीजिएगा. So Song of Solomon, Sula, Blue Star, Beloved, all of these are very important works and they're coming under the category of Afro-American literature. May Toni Morrison, when you're doing it, right? Toni Morrison as a writer overall, excellent, very good, very good. What is the name of the play that is written by Toni Morrison? Toni Morrison has written a play also that came in 1985. What is the name of the play that is centered on Afro-Americanism? What is the name of the play? So in 1985 there was this play that came that centered on African American identity also. What is the name of this play? What is this play? What is this play? This play. What is this play? This play is called Emmett. Right? What is this play called? The play is called Emmett. Okay, तो थोड़ा सा ये भी ध्यान में रखिएगा. What is the name of the little boy who drowns in the river in Sula? So in Sula there is this boy who drowns in the river. What is the name of that boy? I just accidentally told you also. What is the name of the boy who drowns? What is the name of the boy who drowns? His name is Chicken. Okay, his name is Chicken. His name is Chicken. The boy who drowns is actually Chicken. I want all of you to again and again keep in mind that how trauma, the experience of trauma, ये सारी चीजें इवन टोनी मॉरिसन के अंदर बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? द नोशन ऑफ ट्रॉमा, द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ ट्रॉमा, ये सब टोनी मॉरिसन के अंतर्गत इट बिकम्स रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. Okay, Womanism by Alice Walker was coined in which work? Womanism by Alice Walker was coined in which work? So Alice Walker, just like Toni Morrison, these are the three writers that we are actually looking at, like Bucci M. Chetta, Alice Walker, टोनी मॉरिसन, ये सारे के सारे इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. तो जल्दी बताइए, वुमनिज्म बाय एलिस वॉकर was coined in which of the following works? Was coined in which of the following works? In which work are we able to see that this is actually getting coined? In which work is this getting coined? Okay, okay, no, that is not the correct answer. Please remember this, that coming apart, right? Coming apart, the short story, this term is coined by Alice Walker in this short story, right? Coming apart, right? So ये जो आपका coming apart है, ये जो आपका coming apart है, coming apart short story के अंदर term womanism, what is it trying to tell you? It is trying to tell you about women's solidarity. Women have to show sisterhood. Women are complicit in crimes against women themselves. So women have to come together. They need to show solidarity. This is what is being spoken about. Okay. Okay. You better not never tell nobody but God. You better not never tell nobody but God. You better not never tell nobody but God. ये जो lines हैं, these are the opening lines. These are the opening lines, right? They are spoken by this character called Mr. कहाँ से ली गई है? किसकी ओपनिंग लाइंस है? मिस्टर. ये किसकी ओपनिंग लाइंस है? You better not tell nobody but God. You better not tell nobody but God. ये कहाँ से ओपनिंग लाइंस ली गई हैं? Where are these opening lines taken from? These are from Color Purple. Okay, these are from Color Purple. Where are these lines taken from? These lines are taken from Color Purple. You better not tell, never tell nobody but God, right? That is what Color Purple is actually trying to talk about. Okay, who is quoted? Who is quoted in Alice Walker's In Search of Our Mother's Gardens? एलिस वॉकर ने लिखा है ना, इन सर्च ऑफ आवर मदर्स गार्डन. इसमें कौन कोटेड है? हु इज कोटेड इन सर्च ऑफ आवर मदर्स गार्डन? हु इज कोटेड इन सर्च ऑफ अ मदर्स गार्डन? In search of a mother's garden, that you are able to see, you are able to see that who is getting quoted. There is a writer who has written Cain. There is a writer who has written Cain, Jean Tomar. Right? Who is this? This is Jean Tomar that we are talking about. This is Jean Tomar. So Jean Tomar is actually quoted in Search of Our Mother's Garden. So Color Purple का जो writer है, writing in the short story Coming Apart, coining the term womanism in Coming Apart, Color Purple का starting lines, remember, you better not ever tell nobody but God. That is what you're able to see. What are the other famous works by Alice Walker? What are the other important works that you are able to see that Alice Walker is writing? क्या क्या important works हैं जो you are able to see that Alice Walker is writing? So there are some very important works that are coming from the pen of Alice Walker. What are the important works that Alice Walker is writing? What are the important works that she's writing? She's writing works like Possessing the Secret of Joy. Possessing the Secret of Joy. Color Purple is there, right? Coming Apart is there, right? Even works like Meridian she's written. ये सब आपको याद रखना है. Good evening, Jyoti. Good evening. Good evening. What are the other works that you're able to see? In Search of a Mother's Garden is there, right? We are also having Meridian, right? We're also having Meridian. Meridian, right? Meridian में protagonist is a young civil rights worker. That is what you are able to see. Color Purple is of course there. ठीक है, तो ये भी please याद रखिएगा. And a lot of other works that you are able to see, right? That are coming from her pen. Finding the Green Stone, that is also work. So Alice Walker. Okay, Buchi and Chetta is again another important. Buchi and Chetta is again another important writer that we are having. Another important African writer, Nigerian writer, women writer that you're able to see. Buchi and Chetta के major works कौन से हैं? What are the most important works that Buchi and Chetta is writing? To give you an example, she is writing works like Destination by Afra, Joys of Motherhood सबको पता होगा. ठीक है, जॉयज ऑफ मदरहुड सबको पता होगा. डेस्टिनेशन बाय आफ्रा, डेस्टिनेशन बाय आफ्रा जो प्रोटैगनिस्ट है डेबी, राइट. डेस्टिनेशन बाय आफ्रा में जो डेबी प्रोटैगनिस्ट इज एन ऑक्सफोर्ड एजुकेटेड डॉटर ऑफ दिस करप्ट नाइजीरियन मिनिस्टर, right, corrupt Nigerian minister. That is what you're able to see. So destination by afra is also an important work that you're able to see, that is coming from the pen of Buchi M Chetta. So please keep that in mind as well, right, that Buchi M Chetta is writing Destination by Afra. और कौन से works वो लिख रही हैं? Okay, very good Devashish, that's absolutely right. Okay, so again, Slave Girl, Joys of Motherhood, ये सारी work, The Bride Prize. But okay, fine, we can write it down, but everybody would know all of these, like women centric works, Bride Prize. The heroine is born into this tradition, remember, that allows her no autonomy at all. Okay, and that is where her life is also taken control by the members who are owning her life. Slave girl, again, domestic slavery of parents. So बहुत ही important डबल मार्जिनलाइजेशन जो ब्लैक फेमिनिज्म बोलता है ना, वो एक तरह से इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोटोटाइप आपका राइटर्स लाइक बूची एंड शेटाई हैं. सो एक तो राइटर्स ने जैसे बोल दिया, दे हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट ब्लैक फेमिनिज्म, डबल मार्जिनलाइजेशन, but these are the writers who are actually trying to implement those things in their writings altogether. Second Class Citizens is also a beautiful work which talks about the marginalization of women. So second class citizen हो गया, right. Other works also, जैसे आपका recently In the Ditch पे question आया था और हम लोग इसको discuss भी करेंगे. So you also have writings like In the Ditch, right. In the Ditch करके भी आपका जो question आता है, that is also important. The New Tribe, Gwendolyn, these are all important works that Buchi M. Chetta is writing. ठीक है, so please keep that in mind. Okay, who has written Green Hills of Africa? Who's the writer who has written Green Hills of Africa? Green Hills of Africa किसने लिखा है? Who's the writer who's written Green Hills of Africa? Green Hills of Africa, Green Hills of Africa. He's actually an important American writer, to give you a hint, who's also discovering the iceberg technique, right? He is also talking about the iceberg technique. Iceberg technique जो आपकी है, right, कि आप सिर्फ tip of the iceberg देख पाते हो, आप नीचे का जो चीज है वो नहीं देख पा रहे हो, right? So that is what we are talking about. No, iceberg technique कौन बोल रहा है? Who's giving us the iceberg technique? Who's giving us the iceberg technique? Think about it twice again. Ernest Hemingway. Very good. Not Emerson Rashmi. Sonali has answered it correctly. Sonali has answered it correctly. This is Ernest Hemingway. So Green Hills of Africa जो है, this is written by Ernest Hemingway. ये किसने work? ये किस writer का work है? This is a work that is coming from the pen of Ernest Hemingway. I'll just come and see if you're able to see this. I'll just use my size. One. Anyway, I'll just come this side so that you'll be able to see this. So this is Ernest Hemingway that we're talking about, right? This is Green Hills of Africa. So again, you are able to see a non-fiction ka work hai. It is trying to tell you about a month that he and his wife Pauline had in the East Africa during December. Okay, it's divided into 4 parts. ये भी याद रखिएगा. Pursuit and conversation, pursuit remembered, pursuit and failure, pursuit as happiness. Okay, so Green Hills of Africa by Ernest Hemingway, a work of non-fiction. Right? आज जैसे हम लोगों ने classroom class में we had talked about Henry James, The Art of Fiction, where he talks about fiction as being liberating. I hope all of you remember that. वो चीज जो हम लोगों ने करी थी. Okay, moving on to the next question that we have for all of you. Who's the writer of Calcutta If You Must Exile Me? Calcutta If You Must Exile Me. Who's the writer who's written Calcutta If You Must Exile Me? Calcutta If You Must Exile Me. Again, a very important work that you're able to see, and you are able to see he loves the poet loves the city so much that he does not want to leave it altogether. Okay, so again, who's the person who's coming up with Calcutta If You Must Exile Me? So who's the writer of Calcutta If You Must Exile Me? Calcutta If You Must Exile Me. No, this is not Amitav Ghosh. This is Pritish Nandi. ठीक है. Who's the right answer over here? This is Pritish Nandi. Pritish Nandi is the person who's writing it. Pritish Nandi. No, it is not Ezekiel also. This is Pritish Nandi that we are talking about. Okay, this is Pritish Nandi that we are discussing about. I will just hide myself only so that you can actually see this a little better. Okay, I'll hide myself only so that you can see it a little better. So Calcutta, if you must exile me. This is of course, like I told you, this is written by Pritish Nandi. Pritish Nandi is writing it. Okay, and he loves the city so much. He does not wants to leave it altogether. Yeah, right. And of course, आपका जो breathless tempo है, if you remember, आपका शंकर माधवन भी इस तरह से बोलते हैं. So this is what you are able to see, and it's addressed to the Indian city of Calcutta. ओके, तो ये भी चीज आपको याद रखना है. तो नया स्टाइल ऑफ राइटिंग, रियलिस्टिक स्टाइल ऑफ राइटिंग. आज हेनरी जेम्स की क्लास में भी हम यही कर रहे थे. रियलिस्टिक स्टाइल ऑफ राइटिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, हु हैज रिटन टू इंडिया माय नेटिव लैंड? Who's the writer who's writing to India my native land? So who's this writer who's written to India my native land? So to India my native land कौन लिख रहा है? Who's writing to India my native land? To India my native land. Who's the writer who's written to India my native land? जल्दी बताइए. To India my native land. To India my native land. Who's the writer who's written to India my native land? Very important work. किसने लिखा है? Who's writing this? One of the early poets that you're able to see. To India, my native land. Henry de Rosio. Excellent. Aprajita, Rashmi. Everybody has got it right. Everybody has got it right. So this is Henry de Rosio that we're talking about, right? This is de Rosio that we are talking about. De Rosio is writing to India, my native land. तो इंडिया माय नेटिव लैंड किसने लिखा है? ये आपका हेनरी विवियन डिरोजियो ने लिखा है, राइट? ये आपका किसने लिखा है? डिरोजियो ने लिखा है. I'll come this side so that you'll be able to see that all together, right? So again, to India my native land, ये हेनरी विवियन डिरोजियो ने लिखा है, right? Which is a part of his book, The Fakir of Jangira, a metrical tale and other poems all together. And again, nationalism, patriotism, image of golden bird all together, ठीक है? So that is what you are able to see, the image of golden bird, words like hallow, deity, worship, to alleviate everything, ठीक है? Again, acha, by the way, he was of course inspired by Byron, Saudi, and Petrarchan sonnet. Sonnet का format लिख रहे हैं with A B C C D E D E. Yeah, FF, that is like the rhyme scheme that is being used over here. So again, to India my native land, this is a work which is coming from the pen of Henry Vivian de Rosio. Okay, so Calcutta, if you must exile me, that is a work that is coming from the pen of Pritish Nandi. To India, my native land, what are you able to see? To India, my native land, you are able to see that this is a work that is coming from the pen of Henry Vivian de Rosio. And Green Hills of Africa, of course, divided into 4 parts by Ernest Hemingway. वो आपको clear ही हो गया है. Pursuit and conversation, pursuit remember, pursuit and failure, and pursuit as happiness. तो वो चीज आपकी आ जाती है. Moving on to the next question that we are having for all of you. Let's just go on. Who's the writer of Ivam Indrajit? Who's the writer of Ivam Indrajit? आपका जो works हैं which are your so-called dramas, they're of course important. उनको आपको करना ही पड़ेगा. Who's the writer of Ivam Indrajit? Ivam Indrajit, who's writing it? Who's the writer who's associated with Ivam Indrajit? Ivam Indrajit, very important work. Originally written in Bengali, अगर आपको याद होगा तो, right? And then it was translated altogether. So who's writing it? No, 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 no. Yes, absolutely right. Tithi, very good, very good. Badal Sikar, very good. Rashmi Satendra, very good. Badal Sikar is absolutely the right answer. So Ivam Indrajit, originally written in Bengali, is a work by Badal Sikar, right? Is a work by Badal Sikar. Badal Sikar is the one who's writing this particular work, right? Badal Sikar is the one who's writing this particular work. I just come a little lower. Okay, anyway, so Badal Sikar is the one who's writing this particular work. Let's just quickly take a look at it. Okay, very important work of Badal Sikar. It was originally, like I told you, written in Bengali, then translated by Girish Kennard in English, published by Oxford University Press, OUP also. Okay, it is about the mediocre class, conversation between writer and the protagonist Indrajit, who's introduced as Indrajit. Okay, so ये भी चीज याद रखना. All right, it's considered to be an absurd play altogether, telling you about the emptiness, repetitiveness, right? So that is clearly visible. And Sartrean existentialism, obviously, because it's telling you about emptiness, the repetitiveness that is there. Existential philosophy, आपकी जो है वो पूरी की पूरी आ जाती है. That is what you are able to see. Life is a circle; it's never ending. ओके एंड सेकंड पार्ट जो है कम्स आफ्टर अ ब्रेक ऑफ 7 years. ये क्वेश्चन भी आपका आया हुआ है कि व्हाट इज द गैप बिटवीन द फर्स्ट एंड द सेकंड एक्ट ऑफ इवाम इंद्रजीत बाय बादल सरकार ट्रांसलेटेड बाय गिरीश कर्नाड. तो आपको ये चीज याद रखनी है कि देयर इज अ गैप ऑफ टोटल 7 years दैट यू आर एबल टू सी. ठीक है, where characters Amal, Vimal, Kamal, they have settled down to middle class life with a job and family, and all of them, you know, they have a life where they perform the same task, filing papers, stamping files, organizing files, okay, and they do not have any break from the routine. There is no break from the routine at all, okay. Absolutely it's steady futile lifestyle altogether. ये आप देख पाते हो, ठीक है. तो again you know सारथी and existentialism in Evam Indrajit, second act और first act के बीच में 7 years का जो difference है ये भी please याद रखिएगा because ये question भी आपका पूछा जाता है. Okay, so please remember that. Moving on to one of the last questions for today. One of the last questions that we are having for today. This is the last question that is there. Who has written on a muggy night in Mumbai? Who's written on a muggy night in Mumbai? On a muggy night in Mumbai? Who's the writer who's writing on a muggy night in Mumbai? On a muggy night in Mumbai, ये कौन लिख रहा है? On a muggy night in Mumbai. Chalo, we've discussed all the answers. We've discussed all the answers. On a muggy night in Mumbai, जल्दी बताइए. On a muggy night in Mumbai. Very good, very good. Tithi, Monica, everybody has got the right answer. That is absolutely the right answer. So again, Mahesh Dattani. Mahesh Dattani is, like I said, a very important figure. Just hide myself so that you can see this a little better. Mahesh Dattani, path breaking writer. इसको भी थोड़ा सा please एक बार important work so Mahesh Dattani को भी देख लीजिएगा. On a muggy night in Mumbai, ये एक important work है that is dealing with the theme of queer studies, and you know it is telling you about the marginalization that they face altogether, the overall sensibilities that you're able to look at, okay? And characters like Kamlesh, characters like Sharad, plays ending with Kamlesh rediscovering love with Sharad, and you know the humiliated it trying to commit suicide altogether, societal pressures also, ये सारी की सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं. So overall, what are we able to see? We're able to see that all of these works are, of course, important. ये, of course, एक snapshot है. This is just like not a complete picture of all your, you know, post-colonial works, but just like a quick glimpse of it. So we started looking at Hilary Mantel. We looked at writers like Buchi M. Sheta, Toni Morrison. We looked at writers, of course, even covering writers like Alice Walker, coining terms like womanism. ये सारी चीजें हम लोगों ने discuss करी है. End of Disgrace also we talked about it. These and of course a lot more, and we'll talk more about, you know, the entire chain and cycle when we are looking at post-colonial literature. Like I said, मैं आपको ये जो 15 questions master class का है जिसमें हम लोग, I want everybody by the end, classroom students as well as everyone, by January end I want all of you to have made sure that, you know, आप लोगों ने कम से कम, so January end तक we all should be able to complete these 500 concepts via these 15 master classes. The beauty of the master classes are, like, you know, they are 20 to 30 minute long classes, so the duration is not that high, so retention span is a lot more better. तो ये जो आपकी 15 master classes होंगी, just make sure कीजिएगा that all of you are participating proactively. I'll share all the details of the schedule of the master class on the Telegram platform. So I want all of you to definitely attend these master classes. I hope that is clear with everybody. Okay, I will keep on giving you know updates on the Telegram platform about these. मैं उल्टा आपके साथ, आप लोगों के साथ एक schedule ही share कर दूंगी so that all of you are well aware about it. Classroom students, please do revise Henry James and Come जो आज हम लोगों ने cover किया था, as well as writer of the day Chaman Nahel. Please cover that and come. And all of you, please review all the things that we have looked at today. कल से आपका, right, please review everything that we have looked at today. कल से आप लोगों का YT क्लास में जो 10:30 आपका मंडे टू फ्राइडे की क्लास होती है, we will be covering questions related to your Karnataka set and other set entrances altogether. We'll be practicing these questions, so please be prepared and come prepared for it. Neha, I will share all the links to join the master classes. Make sure एक separate notebook या master classes के लिए बना लीजिएगा. So all of you, you know, I'll share all the details on the Telegram platform. ठीक है, आपको Telegram platform पे I'll share all the details. Neerja ma'am, test book, English literature hustlers, सिलेबस, ये सब आपको मिल जाएगा। नीरजा मैम टेक्स्ट बुक, इवन जो आप जाएंगे डिस्क्रिप्शन में तो भी आपको टेलीग्राम प्लेटफॉर्म की डिटेल्स मिल जाएंगी। वहां से मैं आपको सारी की सारी जो मास्टर क्लासेस जो मास्टर क्लास की डिटेल्स है, आई शेयर इट विद ऑल ऑफ यू, ठीक है। So I will see all of you in the master class as well as of course Monday to Friday हम लोग YouTube पे तो मिल ही रहे हैं। तो मैं आपके साथ वो पूरा स्केड्यूल शेयर कर दिया करूंगी, और उल्टा जैसे स्टार्टिंग में भी मैं कर रही थी, मैं आपको डेली क्लास स्केड्यूल भी टेलीग्राम पे बता दिया करूंगी, ठीक है। अम, जी नेहा, thank you so much Debashish, Rashmi, Neha, everyone, thanks so much for joining in case if there are any other doubts please do let me know. Take care of yourselves, I'll catch up with all of you tomorrow and आपको आज ही मैं मास्टर क्लास का schedule भेज दूंगी। Fine, thank you so much, thanks Sinali, thanks Shweta, Padma, Monica, Prajakta, good night, sweet dreams everyone, thank you, take care, bye.